Welcome back, Pet Pals TV. Tom Dock is with us, Noah's Animal Hospitals. We're talking about the new dog flu, and let's start off with, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Exactly.
Calm down.
Exactly.
Okay, so there is a concern, but it's not an epidemic, and it's not as bad as people think it is. What is the new dog flu?
Okay, so let's talk about the concern is that most dogs have never been exposed to this virus before.
New dog flu.
Okay, so it's new, it's emerging. How about that as a word, okay? So it's an emerging disease. Our dogs have not been exposed to it, so they're likely to get it.
If they're exposed.
If they're exposed, exactly.
All right, now then, Tom gave me some notes. Let me put on my glasses so I can see what we're doing here. It's considered emerging in North America, not generally fatal. I have people say, oh, no, all the dogs are going to die. It's not fatal unless your dog is compromised.
Exactly. So if you've got a very old dog, a very young dog, one who has some sort of disease compromise, then yeah, you might be a little bit more concerned. And some of these cases, usually less than 10%, do go and progress on to pneumonia, and that's where we have the hospitalization and, of course, the greater risk right there.
Right.
But I think when people bring this up, they're trying to compare it to just a straightforward kennel cough type of disease, and this isn't. It's an actual flu, just like, a similar flu like we would get.
It's easily transmitted in places where dogs congregate, so you might want to keep that in mind as well. Dogs infected may not show signs for
2 to 4 days. So let's say Stewie got infected. Don't listen. Don't listen. Okay. So let's say that he got infected. He'll be his normal happy self for 2 to 4 days, and he's transmitting that virus the entire time.
Okay. And he does go to the dog parks. So.
Right. Dog parks, doggy daycare centers, boarding kennels, grooming facilities. Gosh, even if you're taking your dog to PetSmart, Petco, a pet store to pick out a toy, there's a risk factor there.
And they transmit it by?
It's oral and nasal secretion, so it's airborne. And believe
sneezing
it or not,
or something like
sneezing,
that?
but even just talking, breathing like this, he could be spreading that virus 20 feet.
He's a deep breather, that's for sure. People traveling with pets, an influx of pets rescued from outside the U.S. has helped to maintain the virus?
Right, so what we're concerned about is we don't know where H3N2, the new virus, really came from. It's an Asian flu. Okay. And so what happens, just like we're seeing right now in Florida with all the dog shows, and Texas, and there's been some concerns in Kentucky, is that we've got people who are traveling from all over to one location, picking it up and then disseminating it back out. Of course, we have lots of rescues coming in from outside the United States. How well are those quarantines being done? And so that's a concern as well.
And that varies from place to place, location to location.
Group to group.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Infected pets can transmit up to 28 days.
So 28 days. So after he starts feeling better, he can still transmit that. And that's the scary thing, because lots of boarding facilities and even grooming salons have had to say, you know what? I've got to cut off here. We can't take any more. We've got to close our business because of this.
Okay. Pets with the flu will exhibit upper respiratory signs. Fever?
Fever. So you can have a fever. Normally dogs are 100 to 102 and a half, so maybe about 104. But these cases that get bad, that get to pneumonia, can go up to 106, and that's very dangerous.
Okay. Lethargy, look for that. They don't want to eat. Pets with these symptoms need to be quarantined.
They need to be quarantined because it's very easily transmitted. Again, remember, most of our pets have never been exposed to this disease before.
Okay. Now, for the good news is that a vaccine is available, and while it can't completely prevent infection, it can limit the transmission.
Right. So please consider vaccination with your pets if you're going to be taking your dog to dog parks, doggy daycare centers, boarding kennels, grooming salons, anywhere where other dogs are. You're going to help minimize the disease in your pet and help minimize the transmission.
So you tell your vet what your concern is, the new dog flu, he or she should know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And they do have a vaccine.
They have a vaccine. The nice thing is it's what we call bivalent.